This man is now a 4-division champion, undefeated. Knockouts left, right, and center against top competition. Knockouts against people that have never been knocked out before, like Stephen Fulton. Where is Naoya Inoue right now, pound for pound? And that answer is he is the pound for pound #1 in the world. This performance solidified him as the best boxer in the world. And regardless of what happens on Saturday, he will still be the best boxer in the world. I said previously, he'll be the best fighter, at least until we see the result of Crawford Spence. Until that result. That's what I said. What I didn't think was going to happen was it was going to be this dominant of a performance. Having somebody like Fulton land only 47 punches the entire time. Dominating to the point that he makes Fulton look like an amateur, or at most like an average boxer. To make somebody like Fulton look like Paul Butler, completely outclassed to where he's taunting as the fight's going on in the second or third round. He is the best fighter in the world, and there is no question. And the reason why I say that is because his resume backs it up, his talent backs it up, and now globally, the name recognition backs it up fully. Because if anybody had anything to say before, there's nothing they can say now. There is nothing they can say now about him and his legacy, about him and his career. Nothing. That was the gripe. He had never fought anybody, even though they just kept stupidly overlooking Donaire. Stupidly overlooking all the other, again, the champs that he beat at 108, becoming undisputed at bantamweight, making almost every single fighter look like a basic boxer en route to clearing out the entire division, which is a actually strong division, but you don't watch it, so you don't care. Now he's got all of that on his resume, coupled with being undefeated, coupled with being a powerhouse, coupled with now beating Stephen Fulton, conquering 4 weight classes, with a name that was many people were saying should be on the pound for pound top 10 list. Oh yes, he should be #1. He should be #1. If we're being honest, the resume looks better than Spence and Crawford. Both of them. Talent just as good. Historical dominance going through 4 divisions, and his actual performances in those fights are on average have been so far and away above the caliber of talent, even though the caliber of talent he's been facing has been quality talent. Oh, absolutely. He deserves to be #1. If we don't think so, at least he should be #2. But no lower than 2. And if we're being perfectly honest, he should be 1A. The winner of Spence and Crawford should be 1A to Naoya Inoue. 1A or 2. And in my book, they're fighting for second place. Because I wasn't expecting this level of dominance against somebody like Stephen Fulton. I was expecting a good fight that he was going to win by knockout, but it was going to be Naoya. I wasn't expecting one of the best performances that we've ever seen from Naoya Inoue at this point in his career, against a cat who is one of the best boxers at this point in his career. And doing it by beating him as a boxer, not as a power puncher, beat him as a boxer in what everybody was saying was the better boxer's prime in Stephen Fulton. This solidified he's the best in the world. Absolutely. If everybody was at 122 and they tried to fight him, Naoya's beating all of them. Naoya's beating everybody. Or if he was scaled to their weight, he's beating all of them. All of them. That's no disrespect to anybody. That's no disrespect to Crawford and Spence. It's not. But I'm not going to sit back here and ignore the dominance that we just witnessed. On top of the significance, on top of the history. All of that combined. Your production in the ring. Your actual talent. 1. your production in the ring, and then your resume, the skills that you have, your production inside the ring with said skills, and historically what you've done in your career, who you fought, and the accolades you accomplished. All of that gets melded into what dictate for me what should be pound for pound. And right now, it's not looking like anybody, especially with a performance like this to cap it off. There is nobody better than Naoya Inoue right now. 1A and 1B can be for whoever wins Spence and Crawford over the weekend. But 1A and 1B are where you put Inoue and the winner of whoever wins Spence and Crawford. If you want to put him too, you better have a very compelling argument. And I mean very compelling argument. But I can't put him at 2. I can't put Inoue at 2. He's either number 1 or number 1. There's no 2 for me with this type of performance. Because I know what Stephen Fulton is, and I know what the rest of his resume is. All of it is quality, top to bottom. And he made them look like children. He made Stephen Fulton look like he was multiple steps below. Average, incredibly average. An average boxer. That's what he made him look like. Just an outright domination in every sense of the word. No stone unturned. Poise for days. Presence like no other. Power like no other. Boxing IQ like no other. Every conceivable metric of skill he's got. His production in the ring matches that of his skill. His dominance has surpassed every opponent that he's been in the ring with. Tenfold. Yes, I know he had Fighter of the Year with Donaire. Absolutely, Donaire came to play. The second time they fought, tenfold. Usurped him. So every opponent he's faced, he is outclassed tenfold. There's nothing that I see to put him off that pedestal of being pound for pound number 1. Not even the result of this fight. Unless we see one fighter dominate to Kingdom Come. I'm talking about makes one look like a chump level domination in the Spence Crawford fight. No. There's no way. Because those two are seen as on each other's level. They have a competitive fight that's phenomenal. Many people were saying that Stephen Fulton, the best super bantamweight in the world, undeniably, in Inoue's first fight, was going to be too big, too fast, too strong, and a better boxer. That's what was the notion around the boxing sphere. Unequivocally, that was the noise. And because that was the noise, and he made him look like he looked, he made Fulton look so inferior like he did, when they were seen as this is his toughest test in terms of athleticism and IQ combined, and he made him look so inferior to him, that's domination on a different scale. Tank and Ryan, when they fought, it was clear who was better. That gap didn't look as big as this gap. If you want to put this win into perspective, that gap between Tank and Ryan didn't look nearly as far apart as Fulton versus Inoue. That's the perspective lens you have to put this into. The domination of Gervonta Davis on Ryan Garcia didn't look nearly as impressive as the domination, nor as egregious as the domination that Inoue just put on Stephen Fulton. Ryan Garcia at least had some moments where, okay, he might have won 2 rounds, maybe even 3. And it was like, oh, wait a minute, he's adjusting and he's finding some success. This could turn into something. That's at least what you were getting in the Tank versus Ryan fight. This fight, there was nothing. There was a round that Inoue got outlanded 13-8. It might have been round 7. Fulton's best round, and still Inoue won that round. Because despite him landing a couple right hands and more jabs, every single punch that Inoue landed was so much more impactful, impressionable, and legitimately momentum shifting. And still, even with him being outlanded, Inoue controlled the entire round. So you can make an argument that Fulton didn't win one single round against Naoya Inoue. That's domination on a different scale. Be along for the ride and believe in Inoue. The monster is the truth, the monster is real, and the monster is here. And the monster, Naoya Inoue, is the best boxer in the world. Point blank, period. Number one, pound for pound. There is no question now.